Welcome to a introduction to standard lexicons versus the Louw-Nida Lexicon. Standard lexicons, or traditional lexicons, operate by listing all the words in the Greek New Testament or whatever corpus they're looking at from alpha to omega. And in this case, we're going to look at agapao. Agapao occurs before agape. And then, in the lexical entry on agapao, a list of meanings is provided. Meanings 1, 2, and 3. And under each meaning, the lexicon provides a definition, glosses, and additional information. Let me give you an example of that. So here is the Liddell Scott lexicon. In blue is the lemma. In orange are the senses: to greet with affection, of things to be fond of, prize, or desire, and 3, to be well pleased or contented. And then, in the body of the lexical entry, you get additional information. For example, under the first sense it says in the Septuagint it refers to the love of God for man and of man for God. And then it notes that in the Epistle to the Romans, distinct from phileo, implying regard rather than affection, but the two are interchanged. So that's how standard lexicons work. The Louw-Nida Lexicon works a good bit differently. The Louw-Nida Lexicon has divided the entire Greek language into 93 semantic domains. Semantic means meaning, domain means area, so a semantic domain is an area of meaning. All of the words in the Greek New Testament have been arranged according to where they fall in these 93 semantic domains. Each semantic domain, for example, domain 25, has subdomains. In this case, there are 22 subdomains of 25, A through X. Each subdomain then has the lemmas that occur in that subdomain listed. In the case of the subdomain that includes agapao, you can see, first of all, that it's not listed alphabetically because agape comes before agapao, and it's not between them. Number 2, you see that there are many different lemmas, 26 to be precise, categories in the subdomain where agapao occurs. And then each one of those lemmas has definition, translation, uses, and discussion. So let me illustrate that. In orange, just like back here on my chart, you see the semantic domains. Domain 25 is attitudes and emotions. And you can see the number of the domain here. The domain is listed up in the heading as well. Next, in ochre comes the subdomains. You see desire, want, wish is the first one. Desire strongly, love, or affection. And additional words is the subdomain that agapao occurs in. And you can see in blue here the listing of the lemmas, 25.43, that include agapao and agape. Then in green you see the definition. Agapao means to have love for someone or something based on sincere appreciation and high regard. Some glosses or translation equivalents. You can translate this as to love, to regard with affection, or loving concern. And then there are examples from the New Testament where the word occurs. He also provides additional discussion of some key texts. For example, he says the usage in John 21, where Jesus interchanged agapao and phileo, seems to reflect simply a rhetorical alternation designed to avoid undue repetition. But he then goes on to comment, though the meaning of these terms overlaps considerably in many contexts, there are probably some significant differences in certain contexts. Okay, so that gives you a feel for what's going on, the kind of information that you can get in the Louw-Nida Lexicon. If you come back up to the top of the entry and place your cursor over the raised letter next to one of the Greek lemmas, you will get a pop-up box that will show you all of the basic senses and where those senses occur in the lexicon. So for agapao, we see right here that there are 3 senses: to love, to show love, and to take pleasure in. They are all in semantic domain 25, though one is in a different subdomain. This is in a different subdomain than the first two. You also notice that the verb agapao and the noun agape both occur in the same subdomain, as well as and are related to one another. So this is the verb to love, this is the noun that describes such love. So how does a person use the Louw-Nida Lexicon? Well, first of all, it's a place to come to find extended discussion of the meaning and translation options available to you for words. It allows you to identify synonyms based on sense, so you can compare agapao to the other words that are listed in the subdomain of affection. You can compare and contrast that to similar words. And in Logos, you can search for an entire semantic subdomain, all the words that occur together with agapao, or an entire domain, or any subset of those two. Logos has extended the value of the Louw-Nida Lexicon by tying its domains and subdomain numbers to its Septuagint and Hebrew lexicons, so that the Greek Old Testament and the Hebrew Old Testament can be searched based on those domain numbers, which is an amazing capacity. So now that I've gone over the basic ways in which these lexicons work, I want to give you a quick walkthrough of watching me use the Louw-Nida Lexicon in Logos. Okay, once you're in Logos and you've clicked on a word that you want to do study in, you can right-click, choose the lemma, choose Bible Word Study, click on that. The Bible Word Study comes up, and you can see that in this first section, the lemma, you get all of the lexicons that are available to you. If you click on Louw-Nida, like this, it will bring you to that entry. As I said before, you can click on this and bring up the list of senses. So you can bring it up as a pop-up, or you can click on it and it will take you directly to those three basic areas of meaning. Then you can click on them and read the entry. Go back, click on the other one, read the entry there. Let's just take a look at the word eternal. So here's the word eternal. Our lexicons are over here. If we click on Louw-Nida, we're brought over here to Eidos, Aeonios, and then there's this discussion here. And in this case, it turns out that Aeonios actually only occurs in one location. And if we look at that, we can see it's the duration of time without reference to points or units of time. Quite a long title there. In another tutorial, I'll provide directions on how to search using Louw-Nida's semantic domains. But for this time, keep in mind that whenever you look up a word, you can look up all of the senses in which it occurs by clicking on the raised letter.